So the point of is that we're doing a fundraiser for Footprints starting tomorrow, and we just like want to have a lot of content. And I think that interviewing people like you is really interesting because people love hearing from Kilian. Also, like I think that you've like, I don't know, the things you've done. It's not just that you're like an athlete, you know what I mean? Like you've done NNormal, you've done Kilian Jornet Foundation, a lot of this stuff. So I figured I'd interview you, and like all our mentors. We've interviewed a bunch of people.
That's cool.
I was actually thinking too. I was thinking too that a lot of these interviews are very similar to what you did with Anturus and with the Athlete Climate Academy. And so I'm gonna put all this into a folder on Google Drive and share it with you and Hugh. So if you guys want to use all these interviews that we're having,
or if you publish like just like because it's like in the page, like we share the like the YouTube URL, so we can bring them to. If you will you upload it in like a YouTube or like something like that?
Totally,
then it will be easier, like just to have the URL and send it.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do that. And I'm also probably going to use your interview with Moira because she's in for for field work, right? It's you already did it, so it seems easier.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Cool. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I got a few questions of my own that hopefully aren't quite the same thing you receive every day. And then,
I'm sure. Yeah.
And then we have a few more from the internet.
Nice.
They all want to know things. So first of all, you're Kilian Jornet, you're a runner. We know that. We don't need to go into that. We've all seen videos and stuff. What we're here to talk about is just footprints and basically sustainability in outdoor sports. And so I would like to start with the Kilian Jornet Foundation. Can you tell me like what that is and what you guys do?
Yeah, so obviously it's a foundation, so we try to do some work as a nonprofit, and we focus on like the preservation of the mountain environments. Everything started kind of like as many of you athletes that we are doing mountain activities, we've seen like in the past, even in my lifetime, that is like in 30 some years, I have seen how like glaciers have been melting, how like the ecosystems are like every time higher up because it's warming, how pollution is like everywhere, like from here in the fjords in Norway to the summit of Everest, you find like microplastics and all these things that I have found when I'm running every day. It's pretty disturbing when you think about what's the future. How the future will look for like the next generations, like our kids, our grandkids, and that. So it was like, what can I do? And like I have a position where first, like as an athlete that many people follow me, that I could like advocate on the social media. I also like earned more money than what I needed, so I was like putting that into some associations and things. But I was thinking, okay, I can do something more. Like I have not a lot of skills besides like running or like being in the mountains, but I was thinking, how can I use some of those skills to do something more productive? Or how can I use my like kind of influence to do some things that they are more than just advocating? And that was the idea behind the creation of the foundation. And then we started to do work on different fields, like on education, with different education programs for schools or for like adults, but also like to do some helping research, because I believe that science, we need to have the scientific knowledge to know what is better to do and how to do it, and then like also to do actions, like to go to the field and to do some. It can be cleanups, or it can be on infrastructures, or it can be on removals. And so we believe that the three pillars, like science to know what to do and what's going on, and then education to raise awareness, and then like to do the actions, are the three pillars of the work we are doing.
That's really cool. I think about that a lot too with footprints because I don't have skills like to teach climate
You
change.
have a lot, yeah.
I mean, I'm getting there, but it's like when I put footprints together, it was like I can't teach this myself, but I can get the people who do. And that's kind of what I want to ask you about the Kilian Jornet Foundation is, do you have a team of people who are experts in like mountain environments or who are experts in education? Like who is involved with this besides yourself?
Yeah, obviously, like I can run, but as you mentioned, besides that, like I don't have a big like toolkit. But we have people that is working for the foundation. So actually, the one that is in charge of all the projects is it's a guy that I know, Gerard Villa from ski mountaineering, and so he's an athlete, but he's been doing the studies in forestry, so he knows he has studied all the ecosystems and the forest, so he has the scientific knowledge about that, and he's been working as a forest management with the national parks in Catalonia, so he knows like what are the problematics, what are the issues and the solutions, and he's really helping on like putting the projects together and making following them. Then like all the educational programs, here we have two parts, one that is more for kids, and there my mother, she's just retired, and she's been like working all her whole life on education, like she's been a teacher for more than 40 years. So and she loves teaching and she loves like education. So like she was saying like, I want to take care of that. And she's like talking with dozens of teachers all around the world and doing different projects on education. And then we have education for like adults or for athletes or for other people. And there I've been like partnering with other people like with Hugh James, that he's a science divulgator from the UK. And we are doing this Athlete Climate Academy project, which is like trying to bring climate and environmental science to athletes and to people that do practice outdoor sports. And then like for other projects that more like they are more on science, like we partner with different like universities or research centers. So like I know what are my limitations but also like where I can like try to connect people. And I think it's a lot about connecting people on what they know how to do, their skills, and how together we can like bring it to a next level.
Nice. I love that. And I'm going to ask you the same thing about NNormal, but I mean, when you're trying to make a collective impact, like you're talking about, how do you get the right people involved? You know, like that's the real question that I think everybody needs to know.
Yeah. I think it's just like first to find people that has the same values, and they must not be just aligned at the same on every dot. Like they can be, I think it's the vision, like you want you see the future the same way. Then maybe we have different views on how to get there, but we all want to go there. And I think that's the most important, that we align on where we want to go. And then the discussions on how we get there, they are very interesting and they are always very constructive. And I think it's important to have people with different visions, with the same goal. That's one thing. And then people that it's passionate, that wants that loves the work. I love working. I love to do things like to be of course I love running and being in the mountains, but I also love like to take a spreadsheet and do data things, or like I love to do research. I love that. Like I can spend hours and hours on that because I like it. I think like it's but then I think it's important that people that it's working for a project, they work because they believe on it, and that they love it, that they find pleasure on it. I think that's very important too.
Totally. And so what is your role with the Kilian Jornet Foundation?
So like in the Kilian Jornet Foundation, I'm like the founder, or like I really hate like these kind of titles or like roles. Like my role is like, I'm I'm the president or founder, but then mostly like what I can do is, for example, for the Adelaide Climate Academy, like we do the interviews together, or I do some of the presentations like that. For different projects like the websites, like we have the outdoor friendly pledge that it's a toolkit for like athletes or like brands or like organizers about how they can improve their sustainability. And there, like I do a bit of like coding or like a website, so it was me that made the website. And then for other projects, like I can be like just connecting, like so it depends like what we need to do. And then like I want to say, I have the vision of where the foundation I want to go, but also like I like to do the not the day-to-day work, because many times I'm very occupied, but if we need to do things like and I have these kind of skills, I love to do it.
Yeah, I love that. And so we've just started this new brand, NNormal, and you and I are on the same team, and that's exciting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And so I think a lot of the questions that I got from Instagram and a lot of questions I got in person is like, what exactly is NNormal doing for sustainability? And so my first question for you about NNormal is like, is the focus really sustainability? Is that like the main thing, or is there other priorities here? Because if the focus is just sustainability, why didn't you just do that through the Kilian Jornet Foundation? Like, why did we have to start a brand? That's multiple questions. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And it's because I see the challenges that the outdoor industry, like all the industry have. And that comes in a lot of different ways. And I believe that philanthropy is important, but we need to implement like those solutions, not only on philanthropy, but also when it comes to business, because then like all of us, like we need a job, like people need to earn their salaries, and that should be like for social justice, so people gets like gets the living waves, and they have a good they have a good living. But also when it comes to sustainability, I believe that companies have a big role. And how to do that, like you can be, it's many ways to do it. Like you can be lobbying, you can be working inside the company, pushing the company to change. And for me, in a point, I saw that it was maybe not enough like that, and that things could be made differently, and that we could accelerate that. And that was the why to start it, because I believe that besides like better products, so it means like better materials, it's a lot about like the business plans of the companies, how we can fight over consumption, and that's where the systemic changes can start. And of course, one single company, small company, cannot do that, but I think we have we need to do it, and we need to do it like that way, and hopefully we can influence other companies, and hopefully we can like have this kind of influence on the outdoor industry to make change. And that's how how I believe that we can help. And sustainability, I believe that is not a goal, is not what it should the definition of a company shouldn't be the sustainability, because I believe that if you only focus on I want to make sustainable products, then like only people that really cares about it, they will buy it. But I think it's you need to believe that sustainability, like the environmental responsibility, and also the social responsibility, should be something that you care about it, and you care deeply about it, and it's a main thing. But it shouldn't be what drives the company, because then like I think if you want to make a change, so someone that don't cares about like having like a lower carbon footprint, or like having circularity, or like the overconsumption, if someone that don't cares about that buys your products because they are very functional, or they are beautiful, or they last longer, or they are whatever, then this person is working for a better future, for sustainability, without caring about, and that's where I believe that change can grow, because like people that it's wealthy, like myself, or that we can choose, like every day when we go to supermarket, or when we are buying things, but most part of the population, like they are not able to choose, or they don't have the knowledge on that, and that's the thing that on social media everyone is talking about sustainability, about like the materials, about circularity, or about all that. But when you talk with retailers, when you talk with distributors, nobody asks in a shop like what's sustainable, what is made with these materials, what is circular. Nobody asks about that. So it's we need to differentiate what is social media talks and what is people asking, or what is people looking when they are going to buy something. So what we should achieve is that when people goes to buy something, this something is already sustainable, it's already circular, it's already like have the lowest carbon footprint, has already like a marketing and a business plan behind that is not pushing to our consumption. So I believe that that's our vision too. It's not only saying we want to make sustainable products, that's like, it means like sustainable product, like it don't exist, like when you produce something it will always have footprint. But to have products that they are honest about environment, they are honest about society, but that people buy it because I believe that they are good. They are good performance-wise, and they are good on looking. So that's kind of the vision behind.
That makes sense. So maybe there's more of a focus on sustainability on this brand than you wanted. Even it seems like
it should be it should be like you should always look for that, but not because you want to do marketing about it, but because you care. I think that's what we want to do.
Yeah. So I was just out in Mallorca at the offices for NNormal. It was really fun. Very cool. And it was really interesting because for some reason I thought it's like NNormal is Kilian's new brand. And for some reason I imagined Kilian working day to day in the office, building the products. And that's not the case, right? Like similar to what you were explaining about the Kilian Jornet Foundation is you developed a team of experts. And I was super impressed with how professional and skilled and just cool they were. And so this is like really important for Footprints campers, is because each of our campers has a project. But what's important for these projects to be successful is developing a team to help develop the project and promote it to the world. And so I'm curious, how did you put together the group of people at NNormal, and how can people anywhere do that same sort of collective action for their ideas?
Yeah, like we worked in our networks at the beginning, like myself and my team, and then like the camper people and the people they knew, and we were looking for people that, as I mentioned before, people that they were motivated for the project, and they were skilled. Also, like to find people that they were good at what they are doing, but that they are. I believe like the skill it's very important, but it's at the same level as the passion for a project, and the ambience. I think it's also very important to create a team which it has they speak the same language. Like I mean, like the team that we have, like it's people from all over, so it's nobody speak like they don't have. Nobody have like the same language to speak, but I mean like they understand each other in a way that we are talking about the same vision, about the same way to do, like that it's a good ambience, and that's super important, I believe, to progress. Because if it's problems inside the team, if it's not an understanding on like more like the feelings, the personal situations, and the way to work. That's basic, and we are trying to make a working culture where people like can also like practice their activities or spend time with the family and work, and that's something that I believe the people that is working for a project, it can be normal, it can be any project, the footprints that people is happy there because they are not, it's not an obstacle to what they like to do. If they want to, if they like to cycle, if they like to climb, if they would like to spend time with the family, they need to be able to do that. And then when they work, they will like, you are happier, and you have better ideas, and you have more creativity, and that's something that it's very easy to say, but it's pretty hard to create this kind of ambience and workflow. And then like, yeah, it needs to be people with the skills, but these skills also can be learned. So like be willing to, yeah, just not be stressed about like that people have all the skills, but be willing to take the time to teach or to spend the time to learn those. Yeah.
Nice. And that makes a lot of sense. So I've read your books. You describe yourself a lot as like very introverted and quiet, and like you're stressed out when there's a lot of people around. At the same time, you're doing all these things that are like, there's a ton of people around. You've created like an organization, you've created a brand. I just saw you at Zegama being mobbed by people. I mean, how do you like balance these two things where like to achieve your goals, you need so many people, but to be yourself, you need fewer people?
Well, I think it's the balance, and like now I'm right now like home Norway. I don't see people here. Like I go training every day, and
Yeah,
if I want to see someone, yeah, no, if I want to see someone, I can see someone, but yeah, you need to fight for it, kind of. So no, like it's like that, and then like the way to work. I think for me it's very important that we are working like always on kind of with this workflow that it's I can work in the evening, so it's not like that I stress my daily schedule on that. Or and then like I know that when I go to a race like Zegama, when I go to Harrock this summer or whatever, there will be people there, and I will be super excited to meet the people. The problem is when I meet people every day, then it's like after a few days, like it's like that's not mentally healthy for me. Like I need to have a space between that, and then I can really enjoy when I'm with people, and I can really enjoy when I'm alone. But it needs a balance, and I know it took me several years to understand where is this balance, and now I think I found it.
Yeah, that's hard. And I think that a lot of people working on something like a nonprofit or something like environmental issues, they are so focused on the problem that they don't take care of themselves too. Yeah. And what you're talking about is like important, like self-care that I think a lot of people.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll ask two more questions from the internet. A lot of people are asking about travel to races. And so I'm going to kind of tweak it. People are asking if like, would you consider bike packing or instead of flying? But I guess I'm the question that I want.
You did take the boat to Europe.
Yes, I did do that. And it was awesome. But this isn't my interview. I think that I'm curious, like an action like that for you, it's like rather than flying to a race, like taking a train or riding your bike or walking, I don't know. Like, do you see that as like a valuable thing? Because you save like some carbon, but you also make a big gesture. I don't know. Like, how do you see that thing?
Yeah, I think it's something that I really value, and I think it's important to do. And how you should like, I think, see what's the best way to travel to a place. And of course, like when it's going to be local races, like if you can bike or if you can like take public transport, it's always much better. And there that is the best. Then like for example, when we go down to Europe, is like we see like if we go all together, like take the car, it's my better, or like it's the train, like that you can put the car in and then like do these kind of things. I think that's the best way. Then like a long travel to the US, like yeah, like you could take the boat, and I know that some climbers also they I think it was Seb and all these guys that they were going to El Capitan to climb. They were trying the down wall pretty hard, and they were like taking the boat from France to US and now back. And I think that's very inspiring, and it's important to do if you can. Then like I limited my traveling now. I kind of allow myself to do one international travel per year. That's something that I feel comfortable with. But yeah, I think it's yeah, and I think it's also like where to find the balance on like advocating and being able, yeah. So if you advocate, like you need to get out somehow, like, and to talk with people, to be to some places, and if you're racing, you are doing interviews, you get some yeah, it's on a way it's that. Like if you are like cutting everything, like social media and like just living in a cave, like it will be like the footprint will be lower, but the I think it's where is this limit on like the I would say what's your not only your carbon footprint, but what's your carbon or like your environmental impact on it's the positive and the negative, and try to understand that, and then to see where you feel comfortable to. Like I think like it's yeah, like for myself, like I know that I still want to do some racing and to do some projects, but I know that I cannot do it on a rhythm that it's like every weekend or every month to take a flight to a race. And I say, okay, what I feel comfortable is to do like one international travel every year, and then just races more locally or down in Europe, where I can use also other ways to travel, or like to limitate. I have put like myself like to up to 3 tons of carbon dioxide emissions per year, and that's something that I know that it's too much, but it's where I feel comfortable, and I think it's just a first step. Yeah,
totally. I mean, you have like 1 million followers or something on Instagram, and that's because you travel the world running races and climbing mountains, and that gives you influence to talk about things that you care about and to promote these environmental issues on a level that the rest of us can't, which is valuable.
Yeah, but you should also be like kind of this is the balance. If you are just saying, yeah, I talk about like climate change, but I'm like traveling every weekend with plane, or like that's bullshit. Right. So like to a point you need to, of course, it's important to advocate, but it's also important to do things. So like to find a good balance between, and that's yeah, it's always a compromise. Like it's never perfect, but it's hard. It's a compromise.
Yeah, like for young athletes, people who are not established, who don't have a following, who don't maybe have the opportunities, like in order to get to this point, like you're an established athlete, you've been doing this a long time, but if somebody is 18 years old and want to be able to do these things, they do kind of have to. And that's something I think that you've tried to address with the athlete, I forget what it's called, but you have like a list of like goals for athletes and events and brands through the Kilian Jornet Foundation. Do you have ideas for how like young athletes can start making a difference?
Yeah, I think it's that because of course you will need to race, and that involves some traveling. Then it's just like also like I think talking a lot with the partners, like with sponsors, and see what's necessary, what's not necessary when it comes to what you are when you are talking like athletes in press conference with people, like how you can address this. These topics to their community, but also like when you are talking to organizers, like to ask about what they are doing about sustainability. When you are talking about like a circuit organizers, like how can we make this circuit that maybe the traveling it's less, even if you are traveling to internationally, like maybe if you do a travel to Americas, then to do some races in Americas, and then back to Europe, some races in Europe. And so like that is not like just go on for all the time, and just to try to understand yeah, what's the things that we can like improve, and then to speak with the people that can make a change, and that goes to organizers, to the brands, to the circuit organizers, the federations. And I think that's it's a lot about the education, and then like how many times when you are a young athlete, you don't yeah, you you're a bit worried about talking about these themes with like a partner or that, because you are not very sure about your position. But I think it's important, and they will listen to you. Another thing is if they will act or not, but that's but you should like do it, and nobody will like yeah, I think it's important to do it, and yeah, they will be also happy to know that you as an athlete have also interests on that besides the sport.
Absolutely, because athletes need more than just results. I think, the brand supports an athlete because they are a story. They attract people's interest, and just being a pure athlete is less interesting than somebody who has more interests and more goals. Cool. Well, it's been half an hour. That's all the time that I need to take from you, Fan. Thanks so much for that.
No, thanks. Thanks to you. Yeah. And yeah, looking forward to come there actually.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's like no snow, which is really
yeah. Well, yeah, we have a lot of snow. Today was like running like snow to the knees, like
really
in the mountains. So yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, man. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again.
Yeah. Have a good time.
You too.
Bye.
See you, Kilian.